What's up, guys? Colton, Lindsay coming at you live on my Facebook page. Do me a favor, if you're hopping on, if you're hippity hopping on, go ahead and click that share button immediately. I'm going to pound out some invites real quick so I can get this out. This is really important. This is something that's either going to make you broke or make you rich if you can understand this simple concept. It's taught by a lot of extremely successful people in the financial world, but it's understood by very few people in the social realms of today. And so I put on there fear and greed. Okay, these are really the only two emotions that dictate whether you get rich or whether you get poor, or maybe even stay poor. I'm not quite sure. You know, it's funny because the further I go into my financial career, my real estate and business career, I learned that a lot of people really are suffering quite badly in finances, and not because they just don't want to, they just don't know how to, and it starts clear back to their financial management and their cash flow management. You guys are hopping on. Jonathan, Jason, thanks for hopping on. My main man, Kevin Langan, Adam, Randy, appreciate you. Do me a favor and put into the comments where you're from. I'd love to hear where you guys are from. And also go ahead, sounds like you, I did recover a little bit from the wallet incident. I'm still super frustrated. But so you know, I got my money, my gift card reinstated, so they're going to send me a new one. So we saved that. I am going to do a little bit of a risk, and I'm going to use the same business card, but we canceled everything else. I'm just going to watch that business card pretty close. However, I saved some money, right? My wife was going to be buying a new wallet soon anyways. The last one was $150. This one was only $90, so I actually saved money by forcing a new purchase. We got Prescott, Arizona. We got Sarasota, Florida, if I said that right. San Antonio, home of the Alamo. Awesome. Orlando. Jimmy, hey, thanks for popping on. So let's hop into this, right? So this is what either makes you rich or keeps you poor. So pay attention, click the share button, give me some reactions if you can resonate with this, okay? So everything revolves around greed, fear, an alternating state. And let me see if I can, I can't move this because it'll fall off. I propped it up. But don't worry about the financial storm and the infinite market. This is something I talked about previously, but I want you to focus down here, okay? What's going on? And put into the comments if you notice it. Where are we at with the real estate market right now? Are prices higher than they've ever been before? Are they medium, or are they lower than ever before? Okay, with the real estate market, are we seeing a lot of multiple offers? Are we seeing a shortage of housing? Are we seeing a super competitive, almost bubbly type market, or are we seeing a very cold and slow market? Okay, think about where's the stock market today? Where's the stock market? It seems like every month we're hitting a new high. Have you noticed that? Well, the reality is every month on average we typically do hit a new high in the stock market. That's totally normal, completely normal, okay? But here's where we get burnt. Here's where people get burnt when the real estate market's like this, when the stock market's like this, and when other opportunities are in other spots and we just miss it. Okay, so we're somewhere around here in this little section called greed, right? We're in this little section right here called greed. If you notice, in this type of market, you start to hear, and I'm going to call them normal people. What I mean by normal people, they're not every day-to-day in the real estate market or in the every day-to-day stock market, okay? So the normal consumer, the normal person, the average guy out there is talking about how hot the real estate market is. He's talking about how hot the stock market is and how they're going to make some money and this and that and do some investments and blah, 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 which totally cool. All power to you. Go get your thing. Go make your money. Go get rich. I get that. However, it's a very big indicator to me that this is the greed section, right? Why is that? When you start to hear a lot of people talking about it and doing it and getting in on the deal, getting in on the opportunity, it means you've probably missed the opportunity. You've probably missed the opportunity. Now, I'm not talking with real estate as far as a home to live in. Okay, you already know my thoughts on that. I'm a real estate agent by design. My history is real estate sales. I have an amazing real estate sales team here in Utah, and yet I'll be the first one to tell you your house, your personal house, is a liability. You got to pay for that new roof. You got to pay to deal with the water leaks. You got to pay to maintain your yard. You got to pay to update that carpet. It takes money from you. Okay, that's a whole other topic. Money taken from you is a liability. Money paid to you is an asset. Here's where we're challenged with assets, right? You look at Facebook stocks, a very great example, which, by the way, in my opinion, is a great buy right now, okay? But Facebook stock is considered an asset Because right now it's putting money and growing, right? It's paying you returns as it grows, okay? Any type of stock that maybe even pays you dividends, right? That's an asset. A rental property that puts money into your pocket every single month is an asset. Got it? What we're seeing is more and more people talking about buying assets, and they have no idea. Listen, they have no idea what they're freaking doing when they're buying assets, and they're confusing their assets with their liabilities right now, okay? So what we typically see, and we saw this in 2004, 5, 6, and 7, we saw this greed section, right? We saw this greed section. But what happened in 2007 and 2008? Riley McD, hey, thank you so much. I've been working out my guns. I'm gonna grow me a man bun soon. I'm gonna start running so that I can fit in and be on your podcast. So I'm looking for the invite, my man. So right here is where we were at the top in 2005, 6, and 7. You know, we came to the peak, and what happened is everyone wanted in on the market. Everyone wanted to make some money. Everyone wanted to get rich. Then all of a sudden, the market shifted. Right, the market started to shift for whatever reason. Well, it's a pretty clear reason now. People started defaulting and not being able to make payments on their assets, because really, what is an asset? An asset pays you, and they couldn't make payments on what? Their liability, right? They couldn't make payments on their liability. And so what happens is people started to sell off their assets, really their liabilities, right? They started to sell them off because they were afraid that they weren't going to be able to afford them. That's the fear part, guys. That's the fear section. And we followed that pattern till 2011 in my local market. It's different all across the country, but 2009 to 2013 kind of was the bottom part of the fear, this little valley, right? Now what happens is people start selling off their assets, right, but they're really liabilities, to where they keep losing money more and more and more. Okay. What also happens during this time frame? Well, when this goes down, stocks go down. Your investment in the stocks go down, and people start liquidating these assets so that they can then get some cash to be able to float their liabilities. Okay. Then we start the cycle all over again. When you saw the biggest investors, the smartest investors on the planet, they were buying down here, right? Because they're like, oh my gosh, the assets are on sale. All these idiots are giving everything away because they're afraid, they're feared, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. You look at Warren Buffett. He invested billions and billions of dollars in a loan into Bank of America when Bank of America was at its lowest point. I don't know if you've seen Bank of America today, but they rolling in it, ladies and gentlemen. And so is Mr. Warren Buffett himself. Hey, thanks for popping in, guys, while you're here. Rhonda, Jeremy, go ahead and give me some reactions if I'm connecting with you guys and you're getting what I mean with the fear and the greed type market, because I'm going to continue to share where we're at in the timeline and how you can prepare yourself so that you capitalize on another amazing opportunity to make a lot of money. Okay, so right now we're creeping back up, right? Here was 2011 or so. Now we're in 2017. We're 6 years down the road, and you're seeing it. You're seeing the post office guy talk about, you know, I'm getting into real estate. Literally, that happened with us. We got a postman that joined our sales team. That's a side note. Vaughn rocks, by the way. But you're seeing more people get their real estate license. You're seeing more money go to the stock market. You're seeing more people buy assets, these houses, right? And so what we're seeing is greed. We're seeing more confidence in the market. We can call it confidence, but it's really greed. Why? Because that's just how we are. We want to get a buck. We want to make some money. We want to grow. We want to become financially free. It's the reality of the market. Okay, so if you're seeing more and more regular, we'll call them normal people that aren't in the real estate world, buy real estate or get into real estate or want to buy investments or want to do flips, right? I can't tell you how many people want to do flips that just fail miserably at it, right? You're seeing more and more of that. And another indicator, if you're an agent, a real estate agent, you're seeing more licensees happen. More people get licensed. We've got over 2,000 in our board now. We were about 1,200 or so at the bottom down here. That's just my really small local market board, okay? But what's going to happen, okay? We're starting to see some people make some money throughout this greed. You might even be one of them. I am. I know I've made a shit ton of money the last several years. And I'd like to say it's because I'm awesome and I'm amazing, and that's a huge part of it. But the rest of it really is the market's been playing in my favor, and I've been able to get rich. I mean, I'm selling houses that are worth more, so therefore the commissions are more. You know, I'm now have more money to spend on stuff. Like, that's really what keeps the economy flowing, is spending. spending. It's the spending, whether it's credit or cash. That's what keeps it going. Okay, so this is important to understand. See, when we're in a market where it's greed driven, credit is easier to get. Okay, so you can get credit much more easier than when we're in a fear market. Banks aren't lending as much, right? When we were looking at the Bank of America situation, they weren't lending to anyone because they didn't freaking have the credit or the money to be able to give them. They were just trying to pay their own assets, which at the time became liabilities, right? Here's something that said, and this is a good point. Jonathan Wells says, a seller recently told me, when you start seeing the school of teachers quit their jobs, become real estate agents, watch out. 100% I agree. When you see school teachers quit, a lot of them quit their jobs to start getting into real estate and make some money, watch out. And that's what we're happening. But how can you survive this? Not only survive it, but thrive through this, okay? Because what's going to happen is sooner or later, we're going to see the greed run out and we're going to see the fear kick in. And what does fear cause us to do? Fear causes us to do opposite of greed. It causes us to sell. It causes us to liquidate our assets, which are really liabilities. And what happens is we see people, and I experienced this myself, is I had to sell some of my assets that were really assets paying me money just so I could pay for my damn liabilities, right? I'm so glad I was able to get rid of my liabilities and keep reinvesting, especially down here, into assets. Because imagine if you bought down here when everyone else was selling and afraid. Where would you be sitting right now today if you had those same assets, okay? So a couple rules you got to figure out, because we are going to see a greed market turn into a fear market again. It's the cycle of markets. It's happened for hundreds and hundreds of years, so it's nothing new. It's just a matter of if you're aware of it and how to deal with it or not, okay? So here's what most people do is their greed is growing, and as their money's coming in or making more money, they start spending more lavishly. You know, the nicer car, the nicer house, shit, I'm guilty of it myself, the nicer vacations. They start spending all this money. But what most people do that I believe have done differently than me is they don't end up buying assets, you know, rental properties that pay them cash flow every single day. They don't buy stocks that pay them every single day so they can stack up cash. But more importantly, they break the number one rule as a business owner. They don't keep cash. That's right, they don't keep cash. And it's kind of a dangerous place to sit on cash right now because, well, you lose money by sitting on cash. You're not getting paid interest. But what happens is the market shifts. Even if you still, and I'm relating this to real estate agents, even if you are still selling the same number of homes, now $300,000 house might be worth $250,000, okay? And if you sell 100 of those, I mean, you think about it, a 25% downturn in values and prices. So you're selling $10 million a year. Now it's only $7.5 million. You know, $2.5 million is like a reduction of, I don't know, I'm guessing like over $60,000 in revenue, right? So now you don't have the revenue to pay for those liabilities that you had. So what happens is typically I see agents start to sell off their assets so they can pay their liabilities just because they don't have the cash that they had in the hotter greed market. So what am I personally doing to prepare for this, to take even more advantage of this market swing this next time, this next decade, that I didn't do as well the last time, but I did get a taste of it. And in fact, I see a lot of agents and a lot of business owners and a lot of just regular 9-to-5 type people falling into the trap that everyone fell into the last time. That's where they've got the extra money. So they've got the boat, they've got the RV trailer, they've got the newer truck, they've got all these liabilities. They're taking cash out of their pocket. And what I'm doing differently this time is, besides buying liabilities, I'm putting a lot of my cash aside, okay? For me personally, I set it aside in cash value accounts that grow on a dividend of about 5 to 5.5%, but it's liquid, so I can grab that money, because ultimately 5.5% sucks a fat one if you want to get rich. You need to be getting 12 to 20%, like, you know, in real estate or in stocks, you need to be in 12 to 20% return on your money to really grow financial wealth long term, because it's not you working that makes you rich, it's your money that works for you. I'll write that down. It's your money working for you that gets you financially free. But if you don't have money working for you, it is automatically working against you. Got it? Because you're either getting paid interest or you're paying out interest. Okay, so going forward, what I recommend is I recommend 25 to 35% of your portfolio, your investments, your whatever you own, I recommend you keep it in cash. Cash value accounts. You could do the bank. I don't recommend it because you're going to lose, basically you get a 0.25% return on your money, so you're losing compared to inflation. But you can buy short-term bonds, you can buy long-term bonds, you can buy, so many different things. But what I don't want to see you do, because there should be about 25% of your portfolio into stocks, right? And I've said by Facebook, by Apple, by Amazon, by Netflix, you're going to regret it if you don't, especially Netflix and Facebook. You're going to regret it. But what's going to happen is when the market drops because of greed to fear, you're going to see Facebook drop. You're going to see Apple drop. You're going to see the Dow Jones drop 25, 30, 40, maybe even 50%. But that's when you can't get afraid and start selling those types of assets. You can't, because it only becomes a liability if you sell it. But if you hold it, and you hold it through the next exchange, you're going to blow beyond where you originally bought it at. Okay, so let's say you buy Facebook stocks about $150 a share. You buy it for $150 a share now, but let's say in 4 years from now, when we're further down into the fear cycle, that it's selling for $100 a share. The natural thing to do is to sell that stock and get your money back so that you keep yourself from losing, right? That's normal. Don't do it. Don't do it. Listen to me. Hey, listen, don't freaking sell your assets when we're down here. I'm being for real, okay? Listen to me. I tell my team every single day, hey guys, when I start sweating bullets because I'm losing money in the stock market left and right on these stocks, change my password and throw away the password. Do not let me sell them, but only give me access to buy more, because guess what? When Facebook's $1,000 or $100 a share, I want to take that cash. What do I want to take? The cash that I set aside that I told you about, and I want to buy discounted Facebook stock and add to my portfolio. I want to buy discounted real estate and add to my portfolio, so that as we head back up to the greed cycle, we're going to blow past 150 a share for Facebook. And I'm just using rough numbers based on estimates of where Facebook's at today. Don't write these down and say these are certain numbers by any means. I'm giving you the idea, the concept, right? I want to buy real estate when it's 40% on sale, and I want to put tenants in there. They're going to pay me over and over again. You get what I'm saying? And so that cash is necessary for two things. Number one is to probably pay for some of your liabilities because you messed up and you got greedy like everyone else. I'm guilty. I just got back from Costa Rica. I bought my wife a new Land Rover. I get it. I'm as guilty as everyone else. I'm not any different or better than anyone. But I'm going to need cash to pay for those liabilities in the future when the revenue drops based on market changes, right? Because what happens is values drop, prices drop. That means the amount of money being exchanged and spending reduces. That means if I reduce my spending, it's probably highly likely people are going to reduce their spending and what they pay me. Okay, so as a business owner, I've got to be thinking, how can I ramp up sales even more in that time so that my revenue doesn't have to drop? Like that's ideal, right? But worst case scenario, I want my cash so that I can pay salaries, so that I can continue to make those payments on things that I enjoy in my current lifestyle. But number two is, more importantly, I want that cash to buy those assets that are on a major freaking discount. Because guess what? We're hitting new highs every single month in the stock market, in the real estate market. And the next greed cycle, we're going to hit even higher highs. In fact, you can count on the future going forward, unless we have a major catastrophe that ends the entire world because North Korea nukes us, or we have World War 17 or whatever, the bobbleheads are talking about online or on media. If that happens, yeah, we probably got some freaking problems, right? I don't anticipate that happening. Let's just be real, okay? But I'm going to take that cash and I'm going to buy assets, and they're going to blow by that $150 a share. They're going to go blow by our new highs in the real estate market. They're going to blow by every freaking high we've ever made with assets in our current world, in our current market. I hope this helps you out. That was a mouthful. I got it all out. Click the like, comment, and share button if you got something from it. And feel free to ask me some questions. We had quite a few of you guys hop on. Darcy, thanks for hopping on. Charles, my man. Lisa, I always appreciate seeing you on here. David, 19,000. I want to see this. Okay, so David Pinnell, here's an example of what I'm talking about. David said in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, okay, there were about 14,000 realtors in the DFW area. Today, there's 19,000. So in just 2 years, this is an example of what I'm talking about. In just 2 years, they've had an increase of nearly 25% in how many agents are in their market. They've had an increase of 5,000 agents. Okay, that is a sign that we're in a greed cycle. More people want in on it. More people want to get their hand into the pot. Okay, so awesome. I appreciate you sharing that, David. Hey, Philip, Claudia, Aaron, thanks for hopping on. Okay, so I need a favor from you guys. Can you do me a favor? Go ahead and click that share button. I really want to get this message out just for the simplicity that I know a lot of people have no freaking clue this is going on. Okay, number two is like, comment, and ask questions. Danny said, I missed the beginning, but look forward to buying great deals in a few years. Thank you. I'm glad you're getting the message, right? And do me a favor, if you have buyers and sellers looking to buy or sell real estate anywhere in Utah, call me, DM me, slide into my DM, send me an email, send me a text message. Hell, I'll even take a pigeon courier message. But get me these people that need help, okay? Because I want to make sure that these people are taken care of. I still think it's a fantastic idea to buy a house to live in, okay? I still think it's a great idea, okay? Also, if you're a real estate agent, go ahead and check out fearlessagent.com for coaching and training. You're going to thank me later for it. And if you want to be in my inner circle, my mastermind, we just got back from an amazing 4 days in San Diego and Laguna Beach area, just really getting in depth with our finances. And I'm blown away. My friend Wayne Solomons, if you don't know him, go follow him, Hero Nation. He really helped us out a ton in the idea of our relationships, not only with our coworkers and our teammates, but our spouses. And as business people, I think, at least for me, and I experienced this as a man, that I don't really have any system to follow and model after for real estate besides what I saw growing up as my parents. And they did the best that they can with what they have, and I'm thankful for that. However, it's not a proven model, right? Like, I want to know a proven model, how to have the absolute best relationship. I don't know that, but it was one of the topics at our mastermind retreat that blew my mind, that Wayne helped us out with so much, and how to be able to identify and communicate with our spouses. So thank you, Wayne, for sharing that. I had the question, a couple things. Jonathan says, Uncle G, for those of you who know who Uncle G is, Mr. Grant Cardone, wait to save $100,000 to invest. What does Uncle C say? I say follow a cash flow management system and start putting some money aside to invest. Okay, I'm not going to tell you $100,000 because I started buying when I had my first 25 bucks. I went and bought me some silver because it was tangible, I could hold it, and it took it away from the inflation of the dollar. Okay, so that's what's most important, though. The idea of the richest man in Babylon is start paying yourself first, start putting that percentage aside so you can invest. That investment's going to stay in cash, it's going to stay in bonds, it's going to stay in stocks, it's going to stay in real estate. And you got to understand your risk tolerance, right? If you're in a really risky real estate transaction versus a bond, right? Bonds are not nearly as risky as a risky real estate investment. However, you're going to get way higher returns on your real estate than you are your bonds. So you got to have a balanced portfolio in risk management to growth management and return on the investment. Okay, so I would recommend shoot for $100,000 if you have no investments. But when you start building that up, think about, well, I can get some Facebook stock. Maybe I have 25 grand in Facebook and 25 grand in cash, right? I don't think you need to wait clear to 100 grand to invest, but you need to target that direction absolutely to save some money up. What did I buy today? Actually, I don't think I bought anything today. I bought a new wallet for my wife. That is an investment. I had to keep my wife happy because I threw her damn wallet away. I ordered new credit cards and debit cards because I threw those all in the garbage yesterday by mistake. So that was actually what most of my day dealt with, was that stress. So great question, though. I wouldn't be opposed to buying some more Facebook stock tomorrow and probably some more Netflix stock. My target's to definitely double by the end of the year my amount that I've got in stock market, knowing, and I'll post that, and I'll follow up with that by saying, knowing that, hey, I'm probably going to have some massive devaluation of those stocks in the next few years. I don't know when, but it's not a matter of if, but when it will happen. So my goal is to buy and buy and buy regularly, and when it drops, not to sell, but have the cash to keep buying and keep buying. And because what happens is I'm going to make some money along this way, along this greed cycle, but I got to rebalance my portfolio, and you're going to have to do the same thing if you're not already, okay? Seth Nudia, what's up? Glad you hopped on here. Any other questions? Post them below. I want to help you out. This too, just so you know, the financial storm is always happening. It's always going on. You got to understand, are we in a greed or a fear cycle? Once you can understand that, then you can start making smarter investments, and everything you spend money on is an investment, either working for you or against you. Click that share button. Give me some reactions. And hey, if you guys have noticed, I've heard several comments lately that I'm looking skinny. Thank you. And I appreciate the feedback. If you guys have noticed skinnier in my face or my neck or my arms or my chest or my man boobs, give me some reactions because it makes me feel good, and I want to solicit some compliments for the hard work I've been putting in on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to get a hold of me if I can help you out in any way. We identified where he was wasting money, and he found, and even though it doesn't sound like a lot of money, found he was wasting about $100 a month on one particular category, which is $1,200 a year. What would you do with an extra $1,200 a year? Would you be excited to have $1,200 more just for nothing, or would you be bummed